The list of Ellen's prizes and acknowledged recognitions would really take quite a while to get through. But she has appeared in all the A-list journals. Her poems and her books have received rave reviews. And she also does some nonfiction work. One of her books, The Courage to Heal, has been translated into over 12 languages and sold over 1 million copies, which is, I think, some kind of endorsement of some wisdom in my mind. Anyway, she's got about 6 books of poetry, and just maybe you can tell us when you're going to be teaching elsewhere. But she's from up north, and as Corinne said, she'll be doing a workshop at Corinne's home this weekend, and we hope it might be the first of many that you'd be willing to do in Southern California, or at least the South Bay. So will you please welcome Ellen Bass.
In a poem, it doesn't matter if the house is dirty. Dust that claims the photographs like a smothering love. Sand spilled from a boy's sneaker. The faceted grains scattered on the emerald rug like the stars and planets of a tiny solar system. Monopoly butted up against Dostoevsky. El Techo, a shiny sticker labeling the ceiling from the summer a nephew studied Spanish. Mold on bread in the refrigerator is as interesting as lichen on an oak. Its minuscule hairs like the fuzz on an infant's head. Its delicate blues and spring greens, its plethora of spores, whole continents of creatures dazzling our palms. In a poem, life and death are equals. We receive the child crushed like gravel under the tire, and the grandfather at the open grave holding her small blue sweatshirt to his face. And we welcome the baby born at daybreak, the mother naked, squatting and pushing in front of the picture window just as the garbage truck roars up and men jump out, clanking metal cans into its maw. In a poem, we don't care if you got hired or fired, lost or found love, recovered or kept drinking. You don't have to exercise or forgive. We're hungry. We'll take everything on the menu. In poems, joy and sorrow are mates. They lie down together, their hands all over each other, fingers swollen in mouths, nipples chafed to flame. Their sexes fitting seamlessly as day and night. They arch over us, glistening and bucking, the portals through which we enter our lives. Did he hear splashing as he tossed his keys on the counter? Or was the deer composed by then, on all fours, suds swirling around its delicate ankles like a person standing in shallow surf? Or did it lower itself like a sphinx, the line of wet fur dark around its neck, trimmed with an Elizabethan collar of foam? Perhaps when it felt the water, warm as sunshine, smelled the rose-scented froth, it leaned back, resting the separate knobs of its vertebrae on the plump plastic cushion, relaxing, like a woman after a long shift at work. If so, did the man know what to do? Did he pour 2 gin and tonics and carry them on the silver tray his mother left him, along with a stack of écrue towels, then sit on the lid of the toilet and ask about her day? On the eve of our 17th anniversary, Janet and I are arguing about whether to take a morning walk. It reminds me way too much of my first marriage, and I'm about to tell her so. When our son asks for help with the tiger report, he's mad he has to write in the voice of a tiger because his science teacher had a nervous breakdown and the substitute used to teach English. He got a haircut today. The sideburns sliced off high and sharp, angled above the pale blue shadow of his exposed skin. I read the screen over his shoulder. My habitat is being destroyed at a rate of 50 acres a minute. What do you think I should say next? He asks. We've just returned from a week with my mother, so Janet's fed up with me to start with. I'm fed up with myself. I rearranged the turkey sandwiches for the flight home because she'd thrown them haphazardly in the plastic bag. Now I hear her running a bath for a little relief. Her hormones are fleeing. She's only got a spritz of estrogen left, like the last sputter of windshield wiper fluid. I sit on the lid of the toilet seat. This is the only book, I'm sure, that has two lids of toilet seats in the same book. She says she's sorry, that she'd love to take a walk with me. And when she sinks in the shallow water, her breasts fall back into her body as though they've given up. I start to cry. The next morning, we'll fight again, and then we'll make up. And over the years that follow, we'll continue to irritate and disappoint each other. And our son will write many more reports, stupid and not, and we'll eat more turkey sandwiches and visit our mothers until they die, and we wish they were still alive to fuss that we didn't put the bagels before they got moldy back in the refrigerator. The only thing that won't turn out reasonably all right will be the tigers. At gate C-22 in the Portland airport, a man in a broadband leather hat kissed a woman arriving from Orange County. They kissed and kissed and kissed. Long after the other passengers clicked the handles of their carry-ons and wheeled briskly toward short-term parking, the couple stood there, arms wrapped around each other like he'd just staggered off the boat at Ellis Island, like she'd been released at last from ICU, snapped out of a coma, survived bone cancer, made it down from Annapurna in only the clothes she was wearing. Neither of them was young. His beard was gray. She carried a few extra pounds you could imagine her saying she had to lose. But they kissed lavish kisses, like the ocean in the early morning, the way it gathers and swells, sucking each rock under, swallowing it again and again. We were all watching. Passengers waiting for the delayed flight to San Jose, the stewardesses, the pilots, the aproned woman icing Cinnabons, the man selling sunglasses. We couldn't look away. We could taste the kisses crushed in our mouths. But the best part was his face, when he drew back and looked at her, his smile soft with wonder, almost as though he were a mother still open from giving birth. As your mother must have looked at you, no matter what happened after. If she beat you or left you, or you're lonely now, you once lay there, the vernix not yet wiped off, and someone gazed at you as if you were the first sunrise seen from the earth. The whole wing of the airport hushed. All of us trying to slip into that woman's middle-aged body, her plaid Bermuda shorts, sleeveless blouse, glasses, little gold hoop earrings, tilting our heads up. Thank you. Thank you.